is Tim from Sound Effects Premiere in Ormskirk. Got another video for you today on a great Boss pedal. But sat beside me, I don't have the usual Tom Quayle. His apprenticeship with us has finished now. Unfortunately, he didn't really cut the mustard to come up to a full-time role, so we've got another apprentice in. Maybe I hope he works out a little bit better.
Oh, no pressure, eh?
No pressure at all. So delighted to introduce you to our channel, Dave Beebee. He's going to be doing some demos for us going forward. Like Tom, phenomenal player. And really knows his stuff when it comes to the gear as well.
Very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to hand you over to Dave to talk about the Angry Driver, or as we've coined it, the White Van Man, which seems appropriate. It's a good way of remembering it, which is a bit of a hybrid pedal between Boss and JHS, quite a departure from them, and probably their attempt to really get into the boutique pedal market by kind of piggybacking a great brand in JHS. So Dave's going to just talk a little bit about some of the functionality on the pedal and also just play some licks for you so you can just hear some of those sound clips, etc. So Dave, welcome to Sound Effects. Looking forward to working with you.
Yeah,
and take it away with the White Van Man.
Awesome. Okay. Hi there everyone, my name's David Beebee. I'm here today at Sound Effects Premiere in Ormskirk. I'm going to do a quick demo of the new Boss JB-2, the Angry Driver. Now, the Angry Driver is a really interesting pedal because Boss are currently celebrating their 40th year making stomp boxes. And in all that time up to this point, they've never collaborated with another company in designing and releasing a pedal. And so the JB-2 is this joint endeavor of Boss, the huge company that we all know and love, and JHS pedals, I think in Kansas from the USA. And in comparison, they're a tiny, tiny small company, but they hand make some very high-end gear, and they may be what people would refer to as a boutique builder. And essentially what we have is this mashup of two circuits. We have the classic blues driver from the Boss side of things, which is a classic, a well-loved pedal that's been around on the old Boss lineup for as long as I've been alive, probably. And with the JHS, we have their Angry Charlie. And the Angry Charlie is like a medium to high gain, souped up kind of plexi tone, and that itself is fast becoming a modern classic. And so with this pedal, we also have some really interesting switching options that make it sort of a really unique collaboration. So aesthetically and design-wise, it's the unmistakable and indestructible familiar Boss chassis, but they've used the red and white color scheme of the JHS logo, and as you can see, the JHS logo itself is, loud and proud on the front of the pedal. And quite cleverly, they've also used these concentric, dual concentric pots for the controls. And on the bottom of them, we have the regular cylindrical Boss style that control the blues driver. And on the top, we have these sort of mini heptagonal dials that are reminiscent of the larger ones that JHS use on all of their products. So there's some nice visual design cues from both companies here in this collaboration. If we go along the controls on the top, we have 3 tone shaping controls, so level, tone, and drive. And then we've also got this 6-position mode dial on the right here. We'll come back to that in a moment. That's going to be of great interest later. We also have a regular 9-volt power supply in. You can also stick in a square battery under the stomp, as with all Boss pedals. We have the guitar input, the output, and then this remote foot switch jack here. And again, that's going to work in conjunction with the mode dial, and we'll come back to that a bit later on. Now, so what I'll do is just, as I say, the switching options are quite involved. So I'm going to go through those in a little while, but I'm just going to run through some of the sound options with the individual blues driver side and the JHS side. So today I'm playing my Sir Classic Pro HSS S-style guitar. On my left here I have the Boss Katana 100, and then on the right we've got the Roland Blues Cube, so we should be in stereo. And the clean sound sounds like this. So what I'm going to do is put the mode dial to 12 o'clock, which is in the blues driver side. This is going to engage this modded BD2 circuit. I've got the Boss controls all at noon. Well, actually, no, the levels should be at unity gain. And so here's the clean tone. And here is the engaging the pedal. So it's definitely giving you that blues driver sound and blues driver feel. It doesn't have the big mid hump that the other large family category of overdrives have. It's a great tone. Just reducing the drive and tone a little. It's going to give us that slightly pushed clean. Just increase the level to compensate. I'm on the front pickup and split pickup here. Clean tone, blues driver. Increase the gain up. So there's the blues driver with a lot more gain and drive on it. Okay, so what I'll do now is flip over slightly to the right and we get the JHS side of the pedal. If I just do the same again, get the tone and drive relatively at noon, set unity. So straight away you can hear in this, they've got some real nice strong thick mids and it's much more of a rock tone. So those are the two modes on their own. If we move down now to the next position on the mode dial, this should flip-flop between the two sounds. So we have, and now can't turn the pedal off on its own, but I am getting this flipping between the blue and the red mode. So the blue LED is to denote the blues driver, and the red one to denote the Angry Charlie. And at this point now, we can't turn the pedal off, but that's where that remote foot switch will come in to play a little bit later on. Moving down once more, and this is where we get into series mode, and what's going to happen here is one side of the pedal is going to feed into the other and affect the tone. So in this position, I think you can see we've got the JHS that's going to cascade and stack into the blues driver. So now, things are going to get a little bit hairy perhaps. So I might just get everything even. Now the foot switch resumes into turning it off and on. And I think what you have to do is be a little bit careful as to how much gain you're running with here. Certainly when I've been stacking pedals in previous experiences, it's a good idea to kind of have one at a lower gain, one at a higher gain, and sort of use your ears as to decide what's best there. So here, I'm going to stick because it's the JHS running into the blues driver, I'm going to actually have less drive on the Angry Charlie and slightly more on the Blues driver, and I'm going to do the opposite. So. Now, I personally prefer the other way around. So if we go back to the mode dial and stick it into B into J, I think that's right. No, that one. Yeah, so this is B into J. So the Blues driver going into the Angry Charlie. Now, I like to set the Angry Charlie as like the bass tone, and use the Blues driver to sort of boost it up and kick it up a little bit. So in terms of tones now, if I get those a little bit lower, see how that sounds. The final mode we've got is this really cool feature called parallel, and this is where the signal is running into the guitar, into the pedal, and then both sides of the pedal are active, but they're not affecting one another. So they're in parallel. The tone of the one is not affecting the tone of the other. They're then summed to come out of the output. And I've been experimenting recently with the Boss ES8 and running my drives in parallel. You can create some really cool signal flows. And so you get a little bit of a taste of this here. This is a really cool sound. So now I won't really change the settings too much, but that's an awesome sound, yeah. Yeah, that's actually might be my favorite one so far. Now, some of you might be interested, like with all of this switching and complexity, is this a digital pedal or is it an analog pedal? Well, I have it on good authority from Boss that this is definitely analog circuitry. So it's the JHS Angry Charlie, modified version of that without the 3-band EQ, because the newest version of the Angry Charlie does have that. And it's a modified version of the Blues driver, but they are definitely analog circuits. The reason there's a high current draw is because it has to use a digital relays to switch between them. And that's the same as if you've used the Boss ES8. I've got the MS3 down here, which is again a similar kind of thing. And on the ES8, for example, you can switch the order of pedals. So I can take 2 drive pedals, run one into the other, and then they're digitally relayed, so they're switch them around. And essentially that's what's happening here with the JB-2. But yeah, at its core, they are analog circuits. Okay, so that's been my demo of the new Boss JB-2 Angry Driver. Hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching. My name is David Beebee, and until next time, bye-bye.